Welcome back to the channel. I'm Eric Thompson. In just a moment, Adam Lee will join us from Vancouver, British Columbia. He's the creator of a podcast and newsletter called Community Trail Running. We're recording this on Zoom, and our current Zoom settings only show Adam's face. You'll just hear my voice. We'll change that for next time. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me, Eric.
I want to talk about your community trail running, which is a community. It really is a community of people. Tell me how it evolved from what you were thinking about when you started to what you have now, which is, I don't even know, it's almost like a family of people around the world.
It feels a bit like a family, and it's ever growing, which is super exciting. It did start, as you said, we've known each other since the beginning. I had called it Ultra Postie in the beginning because I'm a postie and I ran an ultra, and that was the only thing. I just wanted to kind of spew out some words and start talking to people.
I should mention, postie, you're a postal carrier. Some
yes,
people might not know
yes.
that. Yeah, that's the jargon.
Yeah, exactly. I forget that sometimes. Yes, I'm a letter carrier / delivery agent.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But very quickly the community element came to the top. It was what I didn't realize, but that's why I was starting this thing too, and to get involved with it all. It was obvious that it was about the community, and I think that kind of springboarded the whole thing into growing. And I mean, we're not giant by any means, but it certainly grows pretty much every day, and it's super cool to tune in on the various socials and have people check in from around the world, and you don't realize that it has maybe a little bit more of an impact on people than you could ever imagine, and that's just fun. So I try and bring that to the newsletter and podcast as well, I think it's just authentic and people are kind of enjoying it. That's the feedback that I'm getting. And it's kind of funny too, because I've been posting on YouTube and I get bad with it because there's like 2 people I think that watch it on there. But the one episode that I didn't put on there, like the next day I'm getting a DM like, hey, when are you going to put that up on YouTube for us?
I watched I watched the Jeff Peltier episode on YouTube. He's combining things he loves, and he has a job that supports that, so he can have the freedom to go to England, for example, to the UK for a month and run. Community trail running, when I look at it and I see the branding, I think of something that's like a cooperative, or it's, what is it exactly? What would you say community trail running is?
Essentially, I call it an online extension of the trail running community. That's the goal. Really, it's just me behind a laptop, like, those monkey memes you see, like someone just hoping to do the best they can. But that's what it's supposed to be. It's just a community extended online. So if you go for a run and you come back and you're not done with those vibes, log on and keep riding it out, I guess, with other people that like the same thing.
I wanted to talk to you about training during the colder months, the winter months. Now, you live in a big city, Vancouver. What does winter training look like for you when there's no snow?
Much like yourself, I will head out the front door and just go for a run, and that gets me down to the track or whatever and that kind of thing. I don't like dealing with lights, intersections. So there's a dirt track exactly one major intersection from me I can get to, so I only have to stop once, and that's usually where I'll go if I just want to get out of the house. And then I at least try to get to the trails once a week. Lower elevation is kind of my favorite. Of course, I always bring my spikes and I'm always prepared, but I'd rather not use them. Don't want to be a superhero out there, right? It's probably not the best time to chase those Strava segments. And yeah, just slow down, take care of yourself. It's a great time to make sure that your footwork and that kind of thing you trust, and you can work on it then, because if there's ever a time to make sure you know what you're doing, that's the perfect time for it. So I like winter to just kind of slow down. Admittedly, I'm not full bore training right now. My race isn't until September, so I'm fortunate that I don't have to sweat it. When I was training for the 50-50, I started right in January for that, and the truth of it is you just tough it out. I mean, if it's on your calendar and it's a day to run, then you run. If it's not safe to do so, there's no shame in taking the day off. If your race comes up and you haven't done it, it'll kick your butt.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you can hear, but I have small children.
I bet that makes training difficult, Eric.
It does make it challenging because, like, for example, this morning I wake up, it's -8. If you don't get out there at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, your training is not happening. You don't need to be motivated to go do that. For me, I try to manage whether it makes sense or not. Am I sleep deprived already and I'm going to go run? I don't think that makes sense. But is it just uncomfortable and I don't feel like it? Too bad. Out the door, fuel up. Don't tell me about your cold weather, your rainy weather. We always think of ultra marathons, so it's got to be 50K or more, but there's some very challenging and very enjoyable runs that are not quite that long, that might seem like they fit into the ultra. And I know you have one coming up in the States that sounds like it fits into that category because it's only 16 miles.
Only 16, exactly. Yeah, I'm super excited for it. It's called the Beast of Big Creek. And the race director down there, Matthias Eichler, he's a super nice guy. I've only met him online because of community trail running. And I knew that I had to go down and check out one of his events. And this one just plays into my wheelhouse because I always joke when I'm out on group runs, especially, like, for the amount of trail running I do, I stink at running. Like, I either need to be climbing or going down. Like, just flat running is not me. So this race is okay. So yeah, same boat. So this race would be appeal to you too, because it's literally 8 miles up the mountain and then 8 miles back down. There's no flat. I'm not going to be trying to win or set any personal bests. I'm just going to go out and enjoy it and make sure that my legs allow me to enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's a great note to end on is you set personal goals for the Diez Vista 50. I think I was 7.5 hours. And I was like, well, what is that in reference to everybody else? Well, I was 191st out of 300. I was not last. I did not stop. Victory. So
right.
What's the goal for this year is I'm going to try to knock an hour off of it. And I realized how to do that is there's parts where it was flat and I should have been running and I just didn't have the energy and I didn't run. And I figured if I actually train better, fuel better, take better care of my body going into it, I should easily be able to drop an hour, because then hopefully I won't be, dogging it where I should be running. And the other thing I did though is I ran pretty slow down the downhill, because some of the downhill is pretty technical on the coast, as you know. And I'm always on the side of I'd rather just be careful, because I've seen people flying past me and it's great until it isn't. And then the type of injury you might get, I don't feel like getting hurt.
I don't have the willpower to stop myself. I haven't had the big spill yet, but I am definitely
You're that guy.
I am that guy. I am that guy 100%.
Okay, well, hopefully we can get together one of these days. We'll catch up offline and plan some trail runs. And thank you very much for talking with me. I appreciate it. And you want to just give us a quick note on how we can find you online?
Yeah, thank you so much for the chat as well, Eric. We'll definitely have to meet up. It's just communitytrailrunning.com.
All right. Happy training.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you very much for joining us. Don't hesitate to comment. We've received a lot of comments on some of these past episodes, but if you want to share any specific information about your training and what it looks like and any tips or hints, be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to find out what's coming up in the next little while. We'll have some more interviews, including one with Louise Blais. We had a very popular episode with Louise Blais a while ago, and she has some great thoughts and very helpful information, so we're going to bring her back in the next little while. Stay tuned.
Effort is essential to increase your performance, right? You're never going to get better at anything unless you actually work harder than you've worked before.